Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. Jim Jam is not with us this week. We have my good friend Tin Ribs off camera. And on camera this week, we have a new guest to the podcast. He is a long-time listener and he's a long-time friend of all of ours. And we have Tom, the Stoke City fan. How are you, Tom?
I'm all right, you?
Very well, mate. Very well. We don't have a Jim Jam the Statman stat this week. So it seems quite appropriate to...
I think we should make him double up next week.
I think we should make him double up next week. Yeah. So I think it would be good to just play the music.
Now the interesting thing, before we play the music, is if he is going to do two, let's see if he comes prepared, let's see if he's actually listened.
That's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. So yeah, we're going to check his listening skills. So yeah, play the music. Quick break in play to bring to you our partnership with Dubby.gg energy drinks. Just a quick note to check postage if you are outside the US, because that's where they're based. Dubby.gg energy drinks. If you go to the checkout, when you've selected what you want, you will get 10% off your entire order, apart from the cans. The cans is the only thing that's not part of the order. Everything else, 10% off. Just put in code SUNDAY at checkout. SUNDAY Sunday to enjoy 10% off. Hello and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 44. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
How are you?
All right, you?
I'm very well, mate. I'm very well. How are you feeling?
All right. I had a bit of a cough and cold a couple of weeks ago, but I'm all right now.
Not too bad.
Not too
How are you feeling about doing the pod?
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. A bit nervous.
A bit nervous. A few people have said that, haven't they, when they come, to be fair.
Yeah.
A little bit nervous when say must be like Tin Ribs in the corner. So it can be frightening. Just don't look his way. Don't look his way, you'll be fine.
I won't look him.
Yeah, don't look him in the eyes. Right, normally what we'll do is we'll discuss a couple of transfers. But there's been far more than a couple this week, certainly that I've got noted down anyway. So I'll go through the ones that I've listed, and if there's any more that I've missed out, feel free to jump in.
Yeah. Right.
And shout afterwards. So, how do we feel about Mateus Fernandes going from Sporting to Saints? 20-year-old Portuguese central midfielder for 13 million. Yes, I had wrote that one down for Jim Jam, who couldn't be bothered to show up because he's got family commitments. So, all we're going to say is crap transfer, crap team, nobody cares, Southampton shite.
Who is he?
And we'll move on.
But who is he?
Mateus Fernandes.
Yeah, but who is he?
That's all I've got. It's Mateus Fernandes.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed Jim Jam isn't here telling us how he's like followed him his whole life and everything, you know.
I don't really know him.
Yeah. No, I've no clue, to be honest. I mean, I don't really watch Sporting, I'll be honest. But yeah, he's from Sporting to Saints, 30 million. Next one is Jens Lis Koister, whoever that is. Napoli to Ipswich loan. 25-year-old Swedish central midfielder. Again, I've never heard of him. But he's going from Napoli to Ipswich. So it's got to be a good signing for Ipswich, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, for him.
You would think.
He might not be having enough playing time. You know what I mean?
It depends how he adjusts to the Premier League as well, because it's a bit of a rough one, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
This one, I think, is a decent one, to be fair. Oliver Skipp, Spurs to Leicester, 20 million. 23-year-old defensive midfielder.
Very
He's
good.
English.
Yeah.
I think that's a great signing.
Well, we were trying to get him early on loan, but Tottenham were not having it. They were like, we're not loaning.
No, they just
you buy or he had no interest in like permanent moves.
I mean, Leeds could have gone 20 million for him.
At the time we couldn't. Now
was that before your sale?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. I think that's a great acquisition for Leicester, to be honest. I think it's really going to help them. Next one was Wilson Odobert from Burnley to Spurs, 25 million, 19, left mid and French.
Don't know enough about him to make any comment.
I thought he was decent at Burnley, actually. I watched him a couple of times at Burnley. Thought he was decent. Whether he is top 4 decent, which obviously the deluded fans have got aspirations of, you're all mental, by the way. But yeah, you've got top 4 aspirations. Not sure if Odobert is the guy to push them over. We'll go into this week's games, but this week's games for Spurs was inflated, let's say.
Yeah.
But we'll go into that when we get there. We've got another one. Mateus Liz has gone from Southampton to Gozepi. I don't even know who that is. 27, goalkeeper, and he's Polish. Again, another one that I've written down for Jim Jam, who isn't here. Jim Jam, not here. What about him? Sekumara from, again, Saints to Strasbourg, 10 million, 22-year-old striker. What a waste of time doing all these stats if he's not going to show up, eh? Joe Worrell, Nottingham Forest to Burnley for 5.1 million, 27-year-old centre-back.
It's pretty
English.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a good signing for them.
Yeah, I think he's one of
Burnley would do
those,
all right with them.
the right player for the right price.
I would agree. And certainly at the right time for Burnley because
They need it.
they just need a bit of strengthening, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
And I think they could push. A bit like Leeds, I think they could push as well. Which, by the way, I got your result right the other day on Friday.
Yeah, I know.
We left football on Friday because we play every Friday.
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a bit unsure about the game today. And I went, no, it'd be fine. Leeds will win 2-0. And he went, no, I can't see that happening. I went,
He genuinely did.
He did.
And then
I'm telling you
the whole time he's giving me shit. So we scored, and then he's going, my 2-0's looking good right now, isn't it? And then scored.
They scored again. I went, I told you it'd be 2-0. Though nothing will happen now. Finished
The
2-0.
thing is, you always say that sometimes. You were talking about football. They'll be alright, everyone.
Yeah. So, yeah, I knew it. Largy, yeah, I'm not even going to begin to butcher his surname. Has gone from Almira to Leeds.
Yeah, I'm not going to try his name. There's already a chant about him. So he hasn't even kicked a ball for us, and there's already a chant.
23-year-old
Right.
left winger, and he's Belgian.
Okay.
Yeah, so very little I know about him. I
Yeah.
won't lie. I'm not going to. And I looked his stats up. He looked okay. He's got a good sort of percentage in the areas that you want him to. The only thing I've seen of him that I was impressed with was his goal against Real Madrid, where he made the Real Madrid defence look very, very
Okay.
Sunday League.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
literally skins two of them and then just slots it home. And if he can do that against Real Madrid, he should be able to do it against Norwich on a midweek Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're using Norwich instead of Stoke now. I thought he was going to go for
Oh,
Stoke.
No.
A wet Wednesday in Stoke thing.
I don't know, the wind up there on the that hill might freeze his tits off a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's nice ground, crap place. Right, Gundogan to City. I believe the only reason that transfer happened was because Barcelona signed the Spanish player, whose name escapes me at the moment, because I didn't actually write it down for some reason. But Barcelona signed one of the Spaniards, didn't they?
I don't know.
And they couldn't afford his wages because of the cap in Spain.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Gundogan went.
More
It's because
likely.
they had to free up wages to sign somebody else. Now, for me, if you are sailing that close to the wind on FFP or financial regulations or whatever it's called in Spain, you're not doing very well. If you're constantly on that
not gonna
knife's
lie.
edge.
They're never on the knife's edge. They've usually sailed way past the cliff. And
I mean, they're in ridiculous debt, aren't they? We went through the English debt a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And Everton are in the most debt, obviously because they're building the new stadium.
Yeah,
that was a
yeah.
big part of it. But then there's certain companies that were going to buy into Everton
Right.
that gave them money, like, was it 777?
Yeah.
Gave them 400
The Sounds
grand.
2 group.
Right, okay.
So they
Right.
now owe, not only do they owe their debt and the stadium,
Yeah.
but they owe people that were going to buy the club and then decided not to once they'd got priority, which...
So it's like 1.2 billion owed, and then another
Yeah.
$500 million on top.
Yeah. Out.
It was insane money that they owed. I will be honest, it was crazy. But Spain seems to work differently anyway, doesn't it? Because Real and Barca just seem to be in massive
yeah.
debt.
Well,
And it's like they're never going to crawl out of it.
Yeah.
And then they buy Mbappe on God knows how many bloody million that he's going to be earning every year. Oh, but we didn't pay a transfer fee. You don't need to when you're paying him £20 million a year.
yes,
If you got him on a 5-year contract, that's 100 million. Right? I don't mean to burst your bubble, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just to the player. That's not even going to a team or even the agent. That's all extra stuff that's on top. I don't get how they're even on the knife's edge, like you said earlier. They sail way past it. I don't know how they get away with it.
It's mind-boggling.
Is there anyone actually taking charge of the financial fair play thing in Spain?
Probably not.
Probably doesn't look like it.
It certainly doesn't look
No.
like it, does it?
No.
It's just insanity. But then you come back over here, and City have been 115 FC for, what, over a year?
Yeah.
Quite a bit over a year now. And it's still not being dealt with.
No.
You know, it's also not been dealt with. Leicester.
Leicester's not been dealt with. That's over 2 seasons as well.
Well, they were basically screwed. They told last season that they were going to be done for either EFL or Premier League.
And haven't.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
Didn't Sheffield United, was it them
Yeah,
that
but
started?
they started on
minus
-2.
two. So they've
Yeah.
already done Sheffield
Yeah.
United. And Leicester and Man City. Is it something to do with being called City rather than United? Like, if you're called
Dunno.
City, we'll let you get away with it. You might as well just start spending Stoke because you're City, you'll get away with it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Yeah, it seems to be a bit one-sided, that does.
Yeah, but like I say, Leicester,
Certain teams seem to be getting away
they're
with it.
saying how it's hanging over their head, but
Nothing.
Well, deal with it then.
Yeah.
Take it to court and deal with it. Don't just sit there messing about. I mean, Man City are specifically trying to put theirs off because they're hoping just to get a big fine that they can easily pay off, and that's it, done. Job finished then.
Yeah, I think with City, I think they deal with it a bit more because they're
Yeah,
just
but are they though? Because they're such a massive pull now. Because they're so financially powerful. Are the Premier League and the FA going to bottle it?
more than likely,
Much like
They do it
Arsenal
every
have for the
year.
last 2 years?
I'd say so. But what they'll do is what the FA seem to do. They'll
they've done it for years.
bottle
though.
it, they'll throw a fine on it, and then they'll make a rule so you can't do it again.
That's normally how it works.
Yeah,
you're
Well, that's
right.
exactly how it
yeah.
works. That's what happened
Yeah,
to
it's-
Leeds with the Spygate bollocks. They fined $250,000 or wherever it was
Yep.
for not breaking any rules, doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Put the fine in, and they went, "Oh, now we've amended the rules to stop you doing it."
But there's always a loophole around it. That's
But you shouldn't fine someone for doing something wrong.
yeah.
I mean, for doing nothing wrong, for absolutely no breach of any rule.
Yeah.
And then create the rule.
Yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
reactive, the FA. Very reactive.
That's the
There's
biggest
no
problem for me.
proactiveness to anything they make a decision on. They're very, very poor at the way they manage things.
Yeah.
That is my biggest issue with them is, like you say, the reactive nature of the FA is quite frankly embarrassing because they've got the money and the power. They just don't act like it. They don't act like they've got any power at all. Whereas they have.
Yeah.
You can put rules in place. And is the kicker, you can act on them rules. You don't have to ignore them. You can actually act on them and do something about them.
Yeah.
It's shocking, really.
Yeah.
It really is shocking. I think it's about time that something's done. I think something needs to be done to speed it up a little bit, speed up the financial process. Because if you're gonna hammer teams for it,
Yeah.
you can't wait. Like Man City's what, 3 years by the time it gets sorted from when it started.
Yeah.
We're on nearly 2 now, aren't we? And
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
going to be,
nearly 2
or it's
years
over
now.
2 years or something like that, and it's not going to be dealt with this year. They're leaving it until November or December or something stupid. So it might as well not be this year. It's just dragging on and on and
Yeah.
on and on and on. Surely they can put something in place to go, right, okay, you've broke the rules, we're going to deal with it now.
Yeah. They should do
You've
that.
got 6
straight
weeks
away,
to
yeah.
get your stuff together and we're going to court.
Yeah.
Not 2.5 years.
Yeah, they do all the time. It's just frustrates me.
It's
dragging,
crazy.
dragging.
It's crazy. And then you've got all the City fans going, well, you're just having a go, you're just doing this, you're just doing that. With if your club weren't dragging it out,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to have a go
That's
at you
fine.
because it'd be dealt with and done, and everyone would be shut up about it because it'd
Yeah.
be dealt with. Like the fact that you're holding back and not allowing people to deal with it is the reason people are still talking about it because it's still hanging over your head. The same way we were with Leicester. If theirs is still going on next year, we'll still be talking about Leicester being cheats, financial cheats,
Yeah.
because it hasn't been dealt with. If they deal with it and they either lose points, they get relegated, they get fined, whatever it is, we may not agree with the decision, but at least there'll be one.
Yeah.
But whilst there is no decision, there is a chat to be had.
Yeah.
And yes, City fans are getting fed up with people keep banging on about the 115, but it's still there.
Yeah. Was it Everton a couple of years ago? Or something like that, I think. I could be wrong, but
Well, you had-
lost some points and
You had Forest lost points, Everton lost points.
yeah.
Wasn't the one in the Championship that lost points? Was it League One? Or?
I think,
Sure there was
there's
another
one in Championship.
But you definitely got Everton lost points,
Yeah.
and Forest lost points. But that was pretty quick. But
Yeah.
then again, when they went to court, Everton and Forest went, we kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So they could deal with it. Whereas they went to City and City went, we've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
No, correction.
Prove it.
Forest went, yeah, we kind of fucked up. Sheffield United went, yeah, we fucked up. Everton went, we've done nothing wrong. Oh, wait, we've been hit with 10 points. Wah! Then got 6 points because everyone feels sorry for them. Don't know why. You cheated. Fucking deal with it. And then when they went, we're going to do more points, nothing happened.
I don't know if you've spotted it right, but he's not the biggest fan of Everton.
Yeah, I can't notice.
I'll
Yeah,
just let you in on that secret,
yeah.
because he does tend to keep it to himself quite a lot.
Yeah.
Got that heat to the film.
That is awesome wind.
It's a bit crazy, isn't it? Considering the weather's been so good lately. Yeah, the wind's picking up, so if you do hear some background noise, apologies for that. I haven't actually got soundproofing in here yet, but there is plans to get that in place as well.
Very nice.
But as with everything else, it's just baby steps, isn't it? It's a little bit at a time. We've had people complaining about the backgrounds as well. And I'd like to point out the reason we've got dodgy backgrounds up at the minute is for a background, because when I was green screening it and putting whatever we wanted behind, people were complaining the green screen wasn't good enough. So we've just got temporary backgrounds up.
While the other one's on order.
While we...
To be honest, I quite like it actually.
We've actually got one on order.
We're creating and designing a backdrop
Well,
that we've got to order, but obviously then it's got to be sent off, it's got to be made, it's got to be sorted, and then it's got to be posted out to us. But me and Tin Ribs have basically got our heads
Dealt with
together and like, we need something to put up
Yeah.
that will cover everything and will be something what we want. And we went through about 4, 5, 6 maybe designs that he's like, no, that's too big, and this is too small, and that's in the wrong place, and that needs moving over, and there's too many of them, and there's not enough for them.
The problem is Stretch wasn't quite putting into concept. We've got this like 11-foot area, and he's put these symbols on, and I was like, you do realise that symbol alone is going to be about 5 foot, don't you?
The first mock-up was literally just, this is the rough idea of what I've got.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him, and then he's critiquing it like it's what I want to order. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was just to give you an idea of this is an idea of what we can do.
Okay.
Like we can have this symbol here, that symbol there, this there, that there.
But we
and
have
can
sorted
do
it.
this and this, and we eventually sort of dwindled down to going, okay, we quite like this one. We'll keep
Yeah.
this one. So there is one that's been designed and it's on order. We just got to wait for it. As soon as it's here, we will put it up. Until then, you've got to put up with this because people keep moaning about the green screen. So, yeah. And as for the audio listeners, you
We've
didn't give
just
a
chatted shit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't give a shit what the background's like because you listened to it, which is fair enough because we love all of you. Anybody that listens to it, actually, we love you because you must be the most patient people in the world to listen to the absolute bullshit that we spout in here every week. It's insanity, but we do very much appreciate it. We've got a fair bit of time before break, boys. I'd like to go into some of the games that we've had this week.
Absolutely.
There's a bit of a change. I'd like to sort of start, believe it or not, with a game that we had early today, which is Wolves versus Chelsea. Now, I sat and watched this with my son because I had Zach this week. And the first half, both teams were brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a very good game of football. It was end-to-end. It was 2-2 and deservedly even at half-time. Great game of football. And me and Zach sat there thinking, this second half's going to rock. This is going to be great. So we came out in the second half and the Wolves, they just sat down. They literally just sat down. And Chelsea ran through them like they weren't there.
Yeah.
And basically just beat them 4-0. Madueke, last week, even I, as an Arsenal fan, was sat there going, how does Madueke not make their team?
Yeah.
Because he's brilliant.
He is a good player.
Comes on this week, plays this week, scores a hat-trick in 10 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely battered Wolves from start to finish.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, I know what City have got. Right? I know what City have got and I understand what City have got. Surely you've got to be annoyed at losing somebody like Cole Palmer. Because he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He made the difference for England during the Euros.
Yeah.
Should have got way more minutes for England.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Because there were certain games where Bellingham was a passenger. Now, I'm not saying Bellingham's not world class. But what I am saying is, no matter how good your car is, if you run it 24 hours a day, you're going to have issues with it.
Yeah.
Now, Bellingham, for me, needed more of a rest than he was getting.
Yeah.
And there were games there, Denmark, Slovakia, Slovenia, give Palmer the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Give Bellingham a seat.
Yeah.
Take a breath. We're going to need you late on.
Yeah.
We all know you're world class. But for now, let Cole Palmer just go and take the piss out of these other teams.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah. I do like Palmer.
But we didn't do it. We just thrashed Bellingham. We thrashed Kane, who, to be honest, didn't look up to it at all.
Nah, he's...
I mean, he played nearly 50 games, hasn't he, before the Euros even started.
Yeah.
And at 31, he's going to get to you, that is.
Yeah.
Like 50 games before you've even started the summer tournament.
Yep.
It's a lot of football.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not
Especially-
saying Kane's not one of the greatest finishers to ever grace the game, because he scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But again, you need a rest.
Yeah.
Watkins comes on, scores.
Yeah.
Because he's fresh. Because he's not absolutely exhausted. So I think we did things wrong there. But yeah, Cole Palmer for me, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League currently. I'm not saying the best. I get that there are better, but for me, he's one of the best. He's absolutely superb. But yeah, they just sat down. Wolves did in the second half. Did you actually watch the Wolves Chelsea game?
No.
Have you seen any of it?
No, unfortunately not. I was
we may
taking my
watch
son home.
some. We may watch some highlights of certain games during the break when we get there, because that's what we normally do when we haven't seen it. Spurs versus Everton. Now, everybody and anybody that knows anything about football will have sat down and gone, Everton are going to lose this, because they're shocking.
Yeah.
Like, look at that smirky grin on his face when you say Everton are shocking. I wish the camera was on him, honestly. The I'm going to go ahead and say it, the arrogance that was in that smile then when we said it. But I say what I mean what I say, and Everton have been absolutely garbage, and I don't see how they survive this season if they continue the way that they are going. Spurs went to an easy 4-0 win against Everton. And
I was watching it at the pub before I went to state game.
I'm not sure they got out of second gear.
No.
If I'm honest, I don't even think Spurs tried, because they didn't need to. Everton are in deep trouble for me. How do you feel, Tin Ribs?
How do I put this in the nice way?
Look at that face. Look at that face.
I hope they go down.
Yeah. So they weren't. So I watched it yesterday and I thought, we weren't playing a team. It's just.
You know what? I want them to spend the money, buy Jack Harrison in January, get relegated, and send a little prick down with them.
Wow, that's not just the team that you hate. There's a player in there as well. This is personal for Tin Ribs. This is personal. For me, I don't really have anything against Everton. I don't particularly dislike them for any reason, other than the fact that they're the only ones that are competing for Arsenal for the longest time in the top flight. So I like them to get
my
relegated.
issue
just so
totally
Arsenal are on their own.
stems from their fans attacking their players.
No, I know that. I get
That is literally where it stems from.
And to be honest, I get it. Like, you know, you're not a big fan of attacking your own fans. I don't particularly like it myself. But yeah, 4-0. Tottenham didn't even get out of second gear. We learnt nothing about Spurs during that game.
No.
Because there was no. It was like a training game. It's got to be a hard watch for the Everton fans.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, if they carry on, they're probably going to start attacking the players again. My favourite game of the weekend: Brighton 2, Man United 1. Now, I will put it forward that United are the unluckiest team in the world to have that goal disallowed, because that was shocking. It was a great ball across.
I actually felt slightly sorry for Xerxes.
And he tried so hard to get out of the way of it. The irony is, had he not tried to get out of the way of it, it wouldn't have hit his knee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Had he just slid, it would have gone over him and gone in. But because he made such an effort to get out of the way, which you would do, it's automatic. I need to get out of the way because I know I'm off. I need to get out of the way. I think he slid for the first ball that come across from the right.
Yeah.
And then when the shot come in from the left, he so desperately tried to get out of the way that he lifted his knee in the way, and it clipped him just before it went over the line. That is the harshest offside goal I've ever seen in my life.
I genuinely felt sorry for him.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Genuinely, I thought that is really harsh. But
I had a little tear, but just a little tear.
In saying that, I'm thrilled they lost.
Yeah.
Because it's always good to see Man United.
I just love the camera went on the manager, and the manager just went, yes, you know what I mean? It's I just started laughing.
I mean, there's no point in asking you. You're a Leeds fan, so I know you like seeing Man United losing. But I will say, Welbeck has started well this season.
Yeah.
He's doing all right, actually.
Oh, he does?
I hope he stays fit for a year. Because it's
That's
very rare
ask.
that Welbeck has been fit for a full season.
I think that's a tall ask.
It is, isn't it? Which is a shame, really, because he's a decent footballer, you know.
There's been a lot of players throughout history where they're blighted by injury, and if they just weren't, I mean,
Well, look
Darren
at-
Anderson is probably the best example.
Yeah.
His nickname was literally Sick Note,
That was crazy. Such a good player on his day, though.
but
So
constantly
good
injured.
on his
Yeah.
day. But then he's a bit like I don't know if you remember him, but Arsenal had a midfielder called Abu Diaby,
Yeah.
Hmm.
who honestly could easily have been the next Vieira. He was that good.
Yeah.
Injured. Another one for us, who honestly, I believe at 19 was world class. Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Injured. I felt so sorry for Jack Wilshere. Do you know how good he could have been for England?
Yeah.
Just unreal, the ability that guy had.
Yeah.
And he suffered so many injuries. I felt so bad for him. We'll go on to the one that every manager in fantasy football was thrilled with. Man City 4, Ipswich 1. Ipswich took the lead
Yeah.
through a good break, decent finish, bit harsh on the keeper as it went under his leg, but it was a decent goal. And then Haaland just kind of ran the show really against Ipswich, and it was a very rough welcome to the Premier League from I was going to say Alf Haaland then, but that's his dad, isn't it? Erling Haaland. Yeah,
Mirik had
very-
a cracking
Yeah.
game, to be fair. One of his saves from Haaland's header was absolutely
That was amazing.
unreal.
I honestly, I hadn't watched the game, so when I'm watching Match of the Day, I saw the ball come over, I saw him head
Yeah,
it. I
that-
assumed that was his hat-trick goal when he connected
Yeah.
with it. And then when he come up and tapped it over, I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
was
such a
that
good
was a
game.
real
Yeah.
good save.
He had a
I was
really
saying to
good
you,
game.
I didn't watch the game, but
And he still scored 4. And he amazing goalkeeper. Like I mean, if he plays like that all season, for me, Ipswich have got a shot.
Yeah.
They're not going to face Haaland all season. They're not going to face City all season. They've got a shot of staying up if their keeper can play like that every week.
I'll say, yeah.
Now, I will make this statement as we're on about goalkeepers. I sent Tin Ribs a message. Now, I have not been the biggest fan of Raya, as has
Okay.
been made very painfully obvious on this podcast. He has had 2 outstanding games for Arsenal this season. Now, I don't know if he needed to settle. I said this last week.
Yeah.
Or being on loan affected him or whatever it was. But for the first 2 games of this season, he's been flawless. Okay, so if he continues in that vein, I will take back everything I've said about him. And believe me, I've said a lot. And none of it was good. Right, because for me, he lost us the league last season.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, he got the Golden Glove. That was the defence. It wasn't Raya. Raya was shocking last season. But, again, 2 games this season, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
So that brings us nicely on to Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2, which I thought was going to be one of them. Are we going to fuck this up? Are we going to fail miserably like we did last season? And if it wasn't for Watkins' shocking miss, let's be honest, and Raya's ridiculous save wherever that came from.
I'm just going to say one thing on the Raya save. So last week he made a phenomenal save from a header.
Yes.
I didn't think he'd top it 1 week later
Yeah.
because yes, he's beat with the shot that hit the crossbar,
Yes.
but most keepers are going to be beat by that.
Oh yeah. That
Oh,
was,
yeah.
So-
it was a deflection. It wasn't a
Yeah.
shot. It was just took him by surprise. So I can accept that.
How quick he got up and across for that dive.
I'm not sure how he actually got from
Unreal.
where he was to where he
So
saved it.
he pulls off a world-class save last week
That was a great stop.
and then just goes and throws all that out the window and pulls off
I
an
mean,
even
to be
better
fair,
one.
at least he was on his feet last week.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit easier. Whereas this
Oh, yeah.
week he was actually
That
lay on
save
the
was
floor.
phenomenal.
If you look at the pictures that are taken, when Watkins actually headers it, he's lying on the floor.
Oh, okay.
He's already on the floor.
Yeah.
And he gets
And
up
then
and
he
just-
makes a diving
Yeah.
save. And you're like, how do you get
Unreal.
from like lying down? Because he'd gone to tip the ball over, the
Well,
one that gone
okay.
over him, missed it completely. It was
I mean, it is sort of
there's
the
not
thing
many
you drill.
keepers. There's
Yeah.
not many keepers that would have got to the lob. To be fair,
Yeah.
because it was just a freak of nature deflection that went over him. So he dived backwards for that, landed on the floor, lay down, as Watkins heads it. Now Watkins is what, 7 yards out,
If that.
6.5, 7 yards out. It was just outside the area, I think, the
Yeah,
first
6 yard
area.
box, yeah.
So he's 6 or 7 yards out as he heads it, and Raya's lying down, and he still manages to go up and save it.
It's one
Now-
of those you drill regularly,
Yeah.
but even when you drill something regularly, people it just doesn't. You
Yeah.
can't do it.
You don't expect
no,
that to be
and
saved.
that was just a phenomenal save.
And even for me, who is an avid Raya disliker, I had to applaud that because it was
Phenomenal.
just superb.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, I think we controlled the game. I don't think we were really in any danger. They had them 2 efforts, and
Yeah.
that for me was the only 2 efforts they had during the whole game.
Yeah.
And that was just a lack of concentration. The rest of it was run by Arsenal, controlled by Arsenal,
Yeah.
and I think we were superb.
Absolutely.
I think we were brilliant. I think not having Zinchenko on helps. I think asking our left back to go into defensive midfield is really, really bad.
Yeah.
That cost us the 2 efforts on goal when Timber was made to come into DM and then they went down our left-hand side. I don't understand why we're doing this. A left back is a left back is a left back. Keep him at left back.
Yeah.
Stop telling him to come. If you want 2 DMs, have 3 at the back. Play Calafiori, Saliba and Gabriel.
And have one step forward.
And bring a DM into... Like, if they're going to play Zinchenko as a DM, I'm all for it because I think he'd be quite good at it. I just think he's a shocking left back. His defending is not good enough, which would be saved by having 3 defenders behind him. And I think he's okay when he's in defensive midfield without the responsibility of left back. But if you want to do that, play the 3 centre backs and then have the DM or 2 DMs because it'd be Partey and Zinchenko or Partey and Timber or whoever you wanted to play there. But I still don't think that would be a great... I think you need 4 at the back for me. And I'd like to see Timber as a left back, play as a left back. White does it on the right hand side. Why can't Timber just do that on the left?
Yeah.
It works on the right with Saka. It could work on the right. I don't think Martinelli should start. I love Martinelli. I'm a massive fan of Martinelli, but he's struggled over the last year and a bit. I personally would start Trossard. I think he's a better player at the minute. I think he offers us more at the moment, and I think he is Arsenal's most naturally gifted finisher that we have in the entire team at the minute. Because he's just got that instinct for me to score the goal. Because that goal yesterday came at him quick.
Yeah.
We didn't phase him, didn't bother, just side-footed it into the corner. It was there's no panic about the guy at all. He's so calm and so relaxed. I personally think
I've always rated him.
We had Fulham 2, Leicester 1. I didn't see the game.
No.
I don't know a lot about the game.
I've watched highlights.
So I can't comment too much. How did you feel it went?
The way
Bearing in mind Leicester beat Leeds to the promotion last season. So he
no,
probably doesn't like Leicester.
all that aside, you look at the signings Fulham have made. They are pushing for a top 6. Their acquisitions, like West Ham's, have been ambitious. They haven't just bought a player to strengthen someone. They've gone, who can step us up that level?
Yeah.
The acquisition of Smith Rowe is just phenomenal. I mean, how he doesn't get into the Arsenal team baffles me.
It bothers me more each time you say it, by the way.
Why do you think I said it?
I love Smith Rowe. Big fan of Smith Rowe.
So, he has been absolutely brilliant for Fulham. He's a great signing. They've been making all the right noises. And I think they're one of those teams that are now trying to... They've spent their time consolidating.
I think they're going for Europe.
Yeah,
the 7th or... If City win, Arsenal win a trophy, and Liverpool win a trophy, you're talking now Europe...
7, 8.
You're talking that Fulham have got a chance of doing that.
Absolutely.
I could see them finishing 7th and not being surprised about it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. So...
But it would be quite strong, stable 7th.
Yeah,
the game played very much how you'd expect. Fulham were the better team. And they were the deserving winners.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think Fulham are a team to watch.
I would agree.
And I think West Ham will be a team to watch. Just because the intent they've signalled in the transfer market make you look and go, well, they're buying genuine...
Good players.
Yeah. Players that don't just strengthen a little bit. These are players that are elevating the team.
Yeah, that's what you need for the team.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
So those 2 teams are probably my sort of ones to watch.
Yeah.
And both of them have started the season exactly like that. They were very unlucky to lose to Man United. Very, very unlucky.
I would agree. That was horrendous.
And West Ham have just looked great in both games. Let's be honest.
I think what we'll do is we'll go into that in more depth in the second half.
Absolutely.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going the second part, we'll call it.
Yes.
We'll go into the second part. And so it's time to take a break. Hello and welcome back from the break. Had a good little chat during the break that time. Right, gentlemen, grab your boards. We have whiteboards, we have markers, we have a game. And the game is called Who Am I? Now, we have just double checked with Tom about the rules and explained the rules to him, so he does know where he stands now. He knows that there's 3 parts and there's 3 different amount of points. So, again, once I finish the first part, I'll ask you both for a name. You'll both show me your boards without showing each other. I will go, and then we'll go on to the next section. And then when I've read all of it out, you'll work out who was right and who was wrong. Unless you both get it right, in which case I'll go, fucking hell, I need to make it more difficult. So, week 5. Basically, sorry, this is the bit I didn't explain. You're playing for Jim Jam this week.
Okay.
That bit I forgot to mention.
Jim Jam.
You're a guest for Jim Jam. And Jim Jam's currently on 23 points.
Okay.
And Tin Ribs is currently on 27 points. So you've got a lot of ground to make up for something that was not at all your fault.
Oh, no pressure then.
You're starting from behind.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I started with 2 guests.
He did start with 2 guests, to be fair. And the rules were against him as well, because we've changed them slightly since then. Anyway, week 5, player 1, Who Am I? Part 1. I was born 4th of July, 1966, in Harrogate. I'm 6 foot. I began my senior career at Leeds in 1984. I was a defender. Who am I? While they're having a bit of a think, I'll go through the clues again for you guys at home. I was born 4th of July, 1966, in Harrogate, England. I'm 6 foot. I began my senior career at Leeds in 1984. I was a defender. Who am I? Right, some names on the boards, boys. You don't need to show. I can see yours. Just hide it from him.
Yeah.
Don't be sneaking a look at his. Right, 3, 2, 1. Reveal the names. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay. Right. We will go on to part 2. I'm going to have to look, actually, because I can't remember.
He does this a lot.
I do. And put it this way, like, the clues are that good that I can't remember who I've gone for. Oh, there we go. Ah, right. I know who it is now. Okay. I've got your guesses. Jesus Christ. If I was prepared, this might be a decent podcast. Part 2. I played 240 times for Wimbledon, 65 times for Liverpool, 33 times for Tottenham. I played 3 times for England in 1995. I retired in 2001. Who am I? While they're having a think, again, for you guys at home, second lot of clues. I played 240 times for Wimbledon, 65 times for Liverpool, 33 times for Tottenham. I played 3 times for England in 1995. I retired in 2001. Who am I? The guys normally make notes so they remember all the clues. I've noticed that you haven't done that.
No.
So you can't, like, or may not remember the first lot of clues. Have you got a name written down?
No, because I've actually stumped myself here.
You've stumped yourself. I threw the start of my career at Leeds as a kind of curveball.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who's
No
played.
guesses?
Trying to think who's played.
We can
for
move
Liverpool.
on it because
Yeah,
neither
yeah.
of you seem to have a guess.
Nah.
So you can
I'm going to have to move on. 'cause I'm
We're
trying to think who's played for
going to move
Liverpool
on to
as well.
part 3. I finally made it more difficult. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself. You have no idea. Part 3. I was part of the squad who won the Forgotten Trophy in 1999.
He doesn't even know who's on.
I get what I've done here. And then forgot about it and made a hash of it when I recorded the pod. I was part of the squad who won the Forgotten Trophy in 1999 when Spurs won against Leicester in the League Cup final. So he won the League Cup in 1999. And it was the Forgotten Trophy because Man United won the treble in 1999. So the only trophy that Man United didn't win, this player was part of winning. My first name is John. I was part of the squad who won the Forgotten Trophy in 1999. The only one United didn't win, when Spurs beat Leicester in the League Cup final. My first name is John. Who am I? I know there's people now that are
Screaming
listening
at us,
going,
going, "You
Yeah.
absolute
his name
moron."
is John such and such, and you two are sat there going,
Yeah, I've got a clue.
John.
Defender.
Right,
Oh,
quickly, I'll just zip through them all.
Yeah.
Born 4th of July 1966 in Harrogate. I'm 6 foot. I began my senior career at Leeds in 1984. I was a defender. I played 240 times for Wimbledon, 65 for Liverpool, 33 for Tottenham, 3 times for England in 1995. I retired in 2001. I was part of the squad who won the Forgotten Trophy in 1999 when Spurs beat Leicester in the League Cup final, the only one Man United did not win that year. My first name is John. Who am I? I finally might have a week where it's 0 points to 0 points. Any ideas?
You know what? Jim Jam's going to be screaming when he's listening back to this, if he bothers.
he's like,
If he bothers.
Yeah.
Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a countdown
No.
and we'll see if you've got a name at the end of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out of time. Show me your names. Nothing
Nothing.
and nothing.
I got
My name. I'm so pleased I've got a 0-0 on this. You've no idea. My name is John Scales.
I wouldn't have got that.
nah.
I wouldn't have got
I
that.
thought you'd got it from the so many times playing for Wimbledon and then moving to Liverpool.
I was no. You know what it was? I was trying to think of players that had played for Wimbledon and Liverpool,
I've
and I
got
just could
thinking.
not think of a single player from Wimbledon and Liverpool.
John Scales. I'm so pleased I've got a 0-0. That's the first one I've ever had.
That's what I was thinking, like, because I don't really follow London, and I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of the teams you don't really think about.
Right, so player 2, week 5. Let me just, there we go. Okay, now I know who it is. Player 2, week 5, part 1. I was born 30th of January 1981 in Blagovrad, Bulgaria. I have completely butchered that, by the way. That's not what it sounds like at all, but we'll go with it for now. I am 6 foot 2 inches. I started my career in 1998 at CSKA Sofia. I played 78 times for Bulgaria. Who am I? While you're having a think, run through it again. I'm not going to pronounce that though. I was born 30th of January 1981 in Bulgaria. I am 6 foot 2 inches. I started my career in 1998 at CSKA Sofia. I played 78 times for Bulgaria. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your names round,
I got it
boys.
wrong.
So I just
We've got no guess.
yeah.
Okay. Part 2. I moved to Leverkusen in 2001 and made 154 appearances, scoring 69 goals. I then moved to Tottenham and later Man United and Fulham, Monaco and Panathinaikos. Who am I? So, while I'm going to think, I moved to Leverkusen in 2001 and made 154 appearances, 69 goals. I then moved to Tottenham, later to Man United, Fulham, Monaco and Panathinaikos. Who am I?
I'm sticking with my first answer.
Okay.
My spelling's a bit crap. Find this-
Okay. Part 3. I am a striker. I won 2 Premier League titles at Man United. I won the Premier League Golden Boot in 2010 to 2011. I won Bulgarian Footballer of the Year more times than Hristo
Can we just point
Stoichkov.
out that he didn't win it at Tottenham?
I won Bulgarian Footballer of the Year more times than Hristo Stoichkov, a total of 7 times. Who am I?
I think I got it now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Yes.
Berbatov.
5-0. Jim Jam is going to be thrilled. Right, last player. That was quite good. You got that first go. First guess.
Yeah.
But my problem was, when I thought about it, and I put it down, I was like, yeah, it's Berbatov. And then I thought, shit, is Berbatov older than that? And then I thought,
Yeah,
and that's why I went, I've got this wrong. Just as he asked, and I was turning it around, I thought, oh no, I think he's older than that. But it's quite
Yeah.
lucky.
No, you got it right. So, week 5, player 3, part 1. Are you ready, boys?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was born 30th of November 1960 in Leicester, England. I started my youth career at Leicester in 1976. I started my senior career at Leicester in 1978. I made 194 appearances, scoring 95 goals. Who am I? For those people listening, clues again. I was born 30th of November 1960 in Leicester, England. I started my youth career at Leicester in 1976. I started my senior career at Leicester in 1978. I made 194 appearances for Leicester, scoring 95 goals. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show me your names.
I've got nothing and I'll just...
Okay. Part 2. I moved to Everton in 1985, making 41 appearances and scoring 30 goals. Before joining Barcelona in 1986, making 103 appearances, scoring 42 goals. I played for England 1984 to 1992, making 80 appearances, scoring 48 goals. Who am I? So, for those people listening again, I moved to Everton in 1985, making 41 appearances, scoring 30 goals. Before joining Barcelona in 1986, making 103 appearances, scoring 42 goals. I played for England 1984 to 1992, making 80 appearances, scoring 48 goals. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your names. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go for
Right. We're going to end it there because you're both correct. It is Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
You get 3 points for Jim Jam.
Please tell me the third one was he shit himself.
You get another 5 points. That's harsh. Part 3, for those that were interested. I moved to Tottenham in 1989, making 105 appearances, scoring 67 goals. Before ending my career at Nagayo Grampus 8, I now host Match of the Day.
Yeah. I was hoping your third one would be...
That was the easy bit. That I told you the last one sort
Yeah.
of gives it away. I now host Match of the Day. Not I crap myself on a football pitch and try to pretend that I didn't. That's really harsh. So yeah, so that is the game this week. Tin Ribs has done incredibly well that week. I got my first 0-0, so yes, I consider that a win.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I tried to think of a player that sort of everyone would know once they'd heard the name,
Yeah.
but wouldn't normally think about.
I forgot he played for Wimbledon.
Yeah. For most
But
of
that's
his
why it
career.
threw me.
Yeah.
I just completely forgot
Most
he played
of
for
his career. You just think of John Scales, you think of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he actually wasn't there that long in the grand
Which is
scheme of
mental.
things. It was about a third of the time he spent at Wimbledon. It's crazy, isn't it? So yeah, I'll try and chuck a couple of more of them in as the weeks go on.
Cheers.
Like I say, people that everyone knows, but it's normally when you hear the name, you go, "Oh fuck yeah, I forgot about him."
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked hard on that one this week. So yeah, win all round. So you did well with your 10 points, mate.
Thank you.
Guesses. That was very, very good. You did very well for your first
Yeah.
attempt. Thank you for joining us.
No
We
worries.
appreciate it. Right,
Back to the Premier League.
we go back to the Premier League and back to the games that have been played, which now include Liverpool-Brentford, which has just finished, because obviously Sunday League Pundit Show, we record this on a Sunday. And for those that go, "Oh, your podcast is not very professional," kind of why we called it Sunday League Pundit Show. Didn't really think that needed explaining, but turns out it really does. So yeah, I believe Liverpool won 2-0. It seems as though it wasn't that much of a stretch for them. Brentford showed up, it seems, just to make the 11 and not a lot more. They didn't really put up a great fight. So yeah, Liverpool gone to win 2-0 and everybody's unhappy about it, apart from the Liverpool fans, which are probably going to shoot fireworks into a local city building at some point tonight anyway, because that's what they're good at. And yeah, so we'll go on to a game that we do care about, which is, we were talking before the break about Fulham and West Ham. So it seems a good place to go on to the West Ham game, which was Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 2. So they won 2-0 away from home. And one comment that I have made from watching Match of the Day and seeing the highlights was Eze's effort from outside the box. First time they hit the bar. What an effort that was, by the way. Jesus Christ, what a shot that was. That guy's great. When we were linked with him in the summer, I was dead excited.
Eze is very, very good.
And then we don't get him, and it just all gets a bit depressing again. I think we need a backup right-sided player, for sure, because I think Reece Nelson wants more minutes. And I think we need somebody to take the pressure off Bukayo Saka a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Eze could have done that.
But does Eze really want to be backup? Let's be honest.
Probably not, but right now he'd probably get in our left-hand side. Because Arteta doesn't seem as though he wants to play Trossard regularly. And Martinelli's just not cutting it at the moment.
No.
So he'd probably play ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, no, because I would keep Trossard on the left, but there you go. But yeah, anyway, West Ham 2, Palace 0. Very good performance from West Ham. Solid display, good defensively, controlling in midfield, and fairly clinical up front. So I would say they're looking good.
I thought they contained him very well.
They did.
They
did.
I mean, obviously, the possession was mainly Crystal Palace, which is expected. They're the home team. But I think West Ham put on a very professional performance. I thought they controlled the game well. They contained what they needed to. So, yeah.
I would agree. I think it was a very
Bowen's goal was
professional
brilliant.
performance.
Bowen's goal was
Bowen's
brilliant.
great, though, isn't he? He's a very good player. Didn't we have a chat the other week and you said that it was a choice between West Ham and Leeds at the time when they signed him? But he's just lifelong West Ham, isn't he? So it was... Yes, you missed out on a great player, but at least you can understand the reason for it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Have we talked about Southampton?
No, we were...
we have.
No.
I think we should.
So let's take a special moment within the podcast to talk about Southampton's amazing 1-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest.
Yes, with their huge amounts of possession with fuck all to do with it.
Yes. I believe they had nearly 60% of the possession.
No, correction. They had 65% of the possession.
65 in the end.
Had
Jesus.
5 shots.
Didn't Forest have like
23.
23 shots?
Yes.
23.
So they were like the
That was
spoiled
still
little
up.
kid
35%
who holds onto his ball
possession.
and goes, I'm going home if I lose.
Jesus. That shows possession is nothing.
Absolutely.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, my asshole. Means nothing.
Yeah.
Who fucking scores is 9/10 of the law?
35% possession. They had 23 shots.
Yeah.
That's just, let's get the ball forward and let's have a dig.
Yeah.
8 of those were on target.
I mean, their keeper must have been outstanding, McCarthy. He must have got a great rating.
Yeah, he did actually.
That's better than giving one away like he did last week.
Yeah.
Because he literally threw the game away last week, didn't he? Yeah, so 1-0 to Forest. I don't mind Forest as a team. I think they're okay. I don't think they've got any world beaters in there.
No.
Although I think Gibbs White is a great footballer.
Yeah.
I don't think he's world class, but I think he's a great footballer. But everyone else, it's like, do you remember when Wales were doing all right in the Euros?
Yeah.
That's what Forest remind me of. They're a team.
No, I'm going to be referring to the old school Wimbledon. You look at the Crazy Bunch. Yeah, they had John Fashanu, Dennis Wise, Vinnie Jones. But were they world class? Were they? You know, they were just
John Scales.
John Scales. Yeah. But you look at that team; they weren't particularly anything special, but they were a great team.
Yeah.
They played well together.
Yep.
So sometimes it's about chemistry more than ability.
Like you say, weaknesses. Some players are good and anything like that. I think, I agree with that one.
But how many times do you see like a player will sign for a club, and people are like, "Why have we signed him? He's shit." Then all of a sudden he's amazing.
Yeah.
Because he fits that style. He gets on with
Can I throw Havertz in on that one?
Yeah, you can throw Havertz in that one.
Because I sat here initially and I'm like, why the fuck have we signed Kai Havertz? Because he's garbage.
He was
he's been
horrendous
shite for Chelsea. I don't get why we signed him. I don't think we need him. I think this is pointless. And then he goes and does what he's done for Arsenal, and he's been really good. And I had to eat my words, and it was quite humbling, really.
But
to sit here and be so wrong about something.
Yeah, but it's nice to be wrong. In that kind of situation, it's nice to be wrong.
This is the thing. I had an argument with somebody about, not an argument, but a conversation with somebody about David Raya the other day. It was somebody on Facebook, and they mentioned me in a comment and said, "Oh, David Raya was superb today," and I bet it really bothers you. I'm like, no, I want David Raya to be a world-class goalkeeper because it helps Arsenal win stuff. But last season he wasn't. He was terrible.
Yeah.
So I called him out for what he was. Like, if he comes out and he's world-class in every game this season,
yeah,
I'll call him out for being amazing, like I have done for the last 2 games. He'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat here and said Raya has been superb. I believe the word I actually used last week was flawless. I said he's been absolutely flawless.
Yeah.
And again this week, he was flawless. I'll call it for what it is. I don't just have a go at somebody because I don't like them. I have a go at somebody because they're not good enough at what they're doing. And yes, okay, I'm a fat man sat on YouTube talking about how good a footballer should and shouldn't be, but I wasn't always fat, and I used to be quite good at football.
Yeah.
So I can have an opinion on it, because I was signed as a kid. So, like, I could have, had I not stepped in front of a car, I could have made it as a professional myself. So, even if you've never been signed, or you've never even played football, you've watched it long enough, so you can have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
You can have an opinion on Stoke, whether you've played for Stoke or not.
Yeah.
You're allowed to sit and have an opinion on the players on the pitch. And for me, the likes of Jesus, he works really, really hard, but he doesn't have that cutting edge that we need as a striker. Zinchenko, for me, is like a headless chicken. There's a lot of running. There's no real end product in much of it at all. Like, he'll do the odd thing really well, but it's just not often enough. He's had the same complaint about Leeds players.
Yeah.
Some players will come out, like Nonto. He'll come out last season and he'll have 2 games where he is borderline world class. He comes out, he's just amazing. But then he'll have 10 games then where he's 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
And Tinribs is like, I don't know why the fuck he's on the pitch. I don't know what we're doing with him. I don't know why he's there. He's allowed that opinion.
Yeah.
He's watched Leeds for how many years? 2? 3?
Going on, what, 30 odd years?
30, oh, you old bastard. He's watched them for a long time. Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. We're near retirement, actually. It's been that fucking long we've been supporting football.
But it's like, at the end of the day, you don't have to be skilled in something to have an opinion on something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Very, very true.
So,
I can have an opinion on whether my food tastes good or not, and I can't cook for shit.
Absolutely.
But I can tell you whether something tastes good or not.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm a fat man. I know what tastes good because I eat too much of it. But yeah, so you're allowed an opinion, and we will go more into. I know you've got certain things you want to throw in the third bit. In the third bit, what we will do is we'll do the accountability bit, and then we'll have a quick chat about socials and our social media in particular. And I know there's certain things that you want to throw in, so we will go into other people's opinions about our opinions, which is ironic, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll go into that in. We'll go into that in the third half. No one want to pick me up on that?
No. Sure.
You stared at me, so I knew exactly what you were doing. I just wondered whether he'd pick up on it. So yeah, we'll go into that in the third part in a bit more detail. But I would like to make a special mention, if I may.
Oh dear.
Because I'm going to show the camera. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that. Oh, hello. Ooh, wrong way. There you go. Macclesfield.
Yeah.
Macclesfield beat Whitby 3-2. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know how much of the pod that you listen to. But I have an affinity for Macclesfield.
Yeah.
This gym that you're in now was designed because of my grandparents, because they're no longer here.
Yeah.
But they spent their entire life in Macclesfield.
Well, okay, yeah.
My granddad died at 85, and his first game at Macclesfield was when he was 4 years old.
Well, okay.
My first game at Macclesfield was when I was 5 years old, and my granddad took me. So when they both passed away, I decided that my gym, I wanted to just be like an homage to them.
Yeah.
Which is why it's wrong. So I still keep an eye on Macclesfield's results. We still go to some of the games. Tinribs has been to a Mac game. He's played football at Mac Stadium. We've played on the pitch on 2nd of December last year, which was a great game. It started snowing. It looked amazing.
Awesome.
It's on YouTube. I'll show you in a bit. But that was an amazing experience, certainly for me. And obviously you've been there, like I say, a couple of times to watch the games. And we went to Stafford Rangers last season. Me, my 2 lads, and Jim Jam went to watch Stafford Rangers versus Mac last season, interviewed by the JRI, Junior Rangers Initiative. And we like to push them because they're a group of young lads who focus solely on Stafford Rangers, nothing else. They just follow the local team, and they follow them up and down the country. I'll drop some links in if you want to follow the JRI. They are young lads that genuinely just do this off their own back with their dad, and they now do food reviews at all the grounds that they go to.
Okay.
And they interview all the fans, like home and away. They don't care. They'll go up to anybody and just interview them about the game. Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, they're well worth a watch, well worth listening to.
Have you seen their new food reviews?
They're amazing.
Hilarious.
Aren't they good?
Isn't they great?
Aren't they good? They were sat there on one. I was watching one of the food reviews, and Shane had said to him, "Right, we're going to do a food review." And the one of them was staring at his face. He's going, "I'm going first. I want to bite into this. I'm going
You could see him like starving, and the food's
it's just He's trying to get his review out, but he's so busy. It's brilliant, honestly. They're great. So yeah, I'll drop a couple of links in and go and give the JRI a follow. Yes, it's Stafford Rangers. It might not be your local team, but they are well worth a watch. They are very funny, and they're very good lads. So Tin Ribs, is there anything else you would like to go into whilst we're on it?
No, I mean, you brought up Anonto a second ago about players underperforming, and it might sound a bit daft, but remember I was saying one of our problems is now we've sold Georgina Rutter to Brighton, we've sort of lost that player that we'd built the whole team around. Well, against Sheffield Wednesday, Anonto and Aronson were swapping in and out of that position, and he looked really good. He looked like that could be his new position, so that would be interesting.
How do you think that's going to go if it does happen then?
Depends if he can be consistent, doesn't it?
I think that's the key, isn't it?
Because
Consistency.
up till now, he just hasn't been consistent. And he literally has me pulling my hair out.
Is it because he's been in a position he doesn't want to be in, do you think?
No, he's a winger. That is his position.
Yeah, but is it though? Because you look at Ashley Cole, say,
Yeah.
he spent his entire youth as a striker. So he had to relearn everything when Wenger went, oh, you'd make a great left back.
Yeah.
So is he a winger,
Maybe.
or have people just stuck him there because he's quick, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, we'll have to see. But if he could be the next Hernandez, then happy days. Because let's face it, Pablo Hernandez, when he came to Leeds, we were on a shoestring budget. We got this absolute baller, and he was phenomenal. And every year, the Leeds fans are saying, we need another Pablo.
Yeah.
You don't hear him saying, oh, we need another this or that, or it's always, we need another Pablo. We need a Pablo. We need that number 10.
Maybe in his head, that's where he wants
Could
to play.
be.
Maybe that's why he shone.
I mean,
100%.
Aronson is trying to win the fans over at the moment because he's played really well. He's 2 for 2.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? It's a player that's going to put all the effort in.
Yeah.
There's part of me that wants to forget. You know, I want him to prove us all wrong. Do what Anonto did last season. Got everyone's back up at the start of the season. Did his whole, oh, my agents told me to play up. I'm going to play up and get a move. Fortunately, we got the 49ers, and they were like, mate, you do not control us. You're staying. And
That's
then
what
he
you
came
want,
back in, and he played great for a few games. And again, some of the bigger games he disappeared on. Is that youth? Is that experience? Who knows? But I mean, we are talking about a kid who's played for Italy.
I guess you'll find out.
So
I guess you'll find out.
I hope so. I'm generally hoping that he comes good.
Well, I should hope so. Being a Leeds fan, I would hope you'd be like rooting for your players. Like,
Oh, no,
I know I slag Raya off,
Yeah.
and I've slagged Havertz off before, but
You'll
you'll
see my love
admit
hate for Patrick Bamford.
the
haven't you?
second Havertz comes out and Havertz is doing well, I sat on the podcast and I went, I've got to eat my words here. Because
Yeah.
I literally said he was shocking, and he has proved me completely wrong. I want to do that. I want to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong about Arteta, right? And I've gone over the top with Arteta, right? And I exaggerated my thoughts and my feelings, and I referred to him as a Sunday League manager. Now that particular comment exploded when I put that online. Right,
Hilariously.
It went mental. Obviously, I'm not actually sat here saying Arteta's a Sunday League manager.
See, this is where people.
Parts
Hang on.
of his,
No, this is where people don't listen. This is where people take shit out of context.
Yeah.
And we'll get into this in a bit because we've got a right bottom feeder. And what the problem you've got is, he said he's like a Sunday League manager. He plays his friends. Not he is a Sunday League manager. He's like one who plays his friends. Now, we've all played Sunday League.
Yeah.
What does the manager do? Oh, he's my mate. He's going to play up front. You've got a player who's 10
my
times
son's
better.
here, I'm going to put him on, even
absolutely.
though you know he's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But we've had that since kids' age.
We've always had that.
Even at youth
We've
age,
always had that.
the kid's dad, who's the coach, will always pick his son, despite
Yeah.
the fact that 9 times out of 10, his son's shit.
Yeah, there was only one team I ever played for, that wasn't like that, and I was pissed off about it because I joined. I was 12, I think, and I joined Brooklands. It's near Timperley in Greater Manchester. I joined Brooklands under 14s.
Okay.
And I joined them as a striker because I've always wanted to be a striker. I was a keeper as a young lad. That's why I was signed as a keeper. Right, so I was a keeper as a young lad. And I joined Brooklands under 14s at 12. And I'm like, okay, I want to be a striker. And then I did a bit of training with them. And keeper got injured. So I'm like, oh, I'll go net for the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
But what could come of the last 10 minutes? That was it. I was keeper for the whole season. Right, sub-keeper, manager's son. I'm like, Play your son, man. I don't even want to be in net. And you keep putting me in net. It was really frustrating. I ended up getting player of the year. We lost in the cup final because somebody hit the ball. I saved it, and then I got kneed in the head, and a guy come in and put it in, and we lost 2-1 because of that goal, which I think shouldn't have stood. But anyway, that was a long time ago. It's not that it bothers me, right? But that I was 12. I'm 43 now, and it still pisses me off. That's 31 years ago, if you're counting.
Yeah.
And it still bothers me now. That's how bad it is. This is how much football affects people. This is how much football means to people. Don't let people sit there and tell you it's just a game, because it isn't. It's far, far more than that. Yeah, I set you up for goal, huh?
Yeah.
I say I set him up. I hit the worst shot you've ever seen in your life, and it ended up at his feet. Yeah. But he managed to score it, so it made me look as though I'd set him up, so I was okay with it.
I think... You made me look good, though.
Goal's a goal, mate. A goal is a goal is a goal. As a striker, I'll tell you that. Right, I think what we're going to do now is going to get a break, and we shall be back with you, lovely, lovely people, in the third half. Hello, welcome back from the break to part 3. Right, start part 3. We go into a section we call accountability. Now, in accountability, it was me and Jim trying to lose weight, putting it out there for the masses, so we're made accountable for our actions during the week.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Tin, I've not had a good week. I've not been good this week. I've been getting pissed off at work, and I've been getting annoyed with certain different things and very long hours and one thing and another. And I know I shouldn't let it get to me, but I have. So it's not been a good week. Now, last week, I would like to say I was 16 stone 2. I was 44 inches on the belly, 43 inches on the waist. This week, I'm not 16 stone 2. I'm 16 stone 1.
Okay.
So I've lost a pound in a week.
Okay.
It's not been a great week. Although on Wednesday, I did weigh myself on Wednesday midweek. Okay. I was 16.7 on Wednesday. Like I say, wasn't a good week.
Yeah.
So I've lost quite a bit since then.
I just want to point out, though, you can blame Jim Jam a little bit on this, because wasn't he supposed to come to the barbecue yesterday?
Yeah, so I ended up
and he didn't.
More food
so
to make up
there
for
was extra food to be eaten.
Yeah.
So
it's not good.
I'm going to blame Jim Jam.
I had a barbecue here. Tin Ribs turned up with his little one.
Okay.
Because we've all got a 5-year-old child,
which is weird.
Yeah,
it's a bit strange, isn't it? It's like we've all synced up. It's kind of weird, but never mind. So yeah, I'm 16 stone 1, so I've dropped a pound. I'm 43 inches on the belly, so I've lost another inch. I don't know how that works. I'm 42.5 inches on the waist, so I've lost half an inch on my waist. So hopefully the weight will drop next week, because it's been so bad. I am literally now having to hold myself accountable for being so bad. I'm going to have to up it next week. And I'm going to have to... It's going to be easier because obviously the kids are off school. So normally what happens is, because I finish quite early in the day, I'll get home, there's nobody here, and I've got an hour or two to do whatever I want before I collect said 5-year-old from school.
Yeah.
I'm not having that at the moment. I can't come in here into the gym to work out because she follows me. And obviously there's weights, there's this, there's that, there's the other. It's too dangerous for her in here, so I don't want to come in here. I can't just go off on a run because I've got a 5-year-old, and obviously I can't take her on the run. So I'm slightly more restricted when she's not at school, so hopefully they'll be back at school soon and I can put a bit more effort in. But I need to put a bit more effort in on the eating. So yeah, not done very well this week, guys. So I have held myself accountable. I've put it out there, and hopefully next week will be a lot better. So, let's go into our normal part 3 bullshit.
Yep.
Any other business. I feel, a bit like you pointed out during the break, Tin Rips, that we should probably talk about Stoke City.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
As you're here,
and
you support Stoke City.
Yeah.
Now, Stoke City. I don't need my phone because I wrote it down, because I didn't know a lot about Stoke this season before. We were having you on the podcast. Now, Stoke have played 3 games, league games, from what I can gather.
Yeah.
You lost
to Watford last week.
2-1 to West Brom this week.
Yeah.
Last week you lost 3-0 to Watford.
Yeah.
And on the first week you won 1-0 against Coventry.
Yeah.
I would say you're currently 17th,
Yeah.
which is actually joint 10th.
Yeah.
But it is still early days, so there is chance for you to do something.
Do something, yeah.
How do you feel about how you've started? How do you feel about the players you've got? How do you feel about your manager? And how do you think the season's going to go? So all in one.
All in one. Well, I started with a manager. I'm not really keen on our manager. You know, he started last season.
Right.
Michael Schumacher. I don't know. I'm just a bit, you know.
You're a bit unsure about
a
it.
bit on him, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like all the decisions he's made last year just dropped so bad. Now we almost got relegated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I won't lie, I thought you were going down last season.
yeah.
I do believe on one of our earlier podcasts, I said that I thought they were going to go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
You know, making so bad decisions. I'm thinking, you know, I've been a few times last year, you know, watching them, and you know, I think it's one game against Blackburn. I think we lost like 2-1 or something like that, and we were playing alright with some bits, and then it's like we just drop. And I think, why? You know, we can't really blame all on the manager. You know, you like, but they all support different teams. Like some of it could be a players. You know.
Are you? I mean, 9 times out of 10, you can normally pinpoint, especially when it comes to like a manager. Like the team have been inconsistent the players are inconsistent. The tactics are wrong. The manager made a wrong call. This player didn't put his effort in. The substitution's wrong. There's always like something that you can sort of pinpoint. Like, is there anything that like is repetitive? So, for example, the players don't seem to be putting the effort in. Are the tactics wrong? Is he setting up wrong? Is he making the wrong substitution? Is there something that you can see that seems to be a recurring?
I think we need new players. That's one.
Okay.
Couple of,
Where, though? Surely you don't need an entire team.
No, not
entire
entire team. No, I think we need like a little bit on the wingers. Really, me personally, it's someone just go down, do the job, and just cross the ball in.
You're not getting enough crosses in.
Yeah, enough crosses.
Well, okay, I know that feeling.
I know we've been linked with one of their wingers. We had the quick discussion. If you heard anything from your side of things,
I haven't heard nothing about it.
It's yeah,
you know what I mean?
and obviously,
who is that, by the way, for those who are listening? Because some of them may
I
not
never
know.
remember his bloody name.
No, I don't know.
But they also signed at the start of the season. The goalkeeper Jim Jam wanted him to sign Janssen. So that's a good signing. And his name's Mainhart. Is it Manhar?
Manhar, yeah.
Yeah. No. Lee's got linked with him, but I mean we're getting linked with a lot of players at the moment.
Well,
you've got a lot of money at the minute. That's why you're getting linked with a lot of players at the minute, because you've sold off your bloody squad.
I think we've actually sold, like, financially more than any other team in Europe, isn't it?
That would not surprise me. Or we went through the list of their transfers out last week.
Absolutely ludicrous.
It is huge.
Yeah, I think I might need a bit more defender, like defence a little bit as well in the middle.
So you want to strengthen the defence, and you need some wingers that are just going to hit the byline and get the ball over.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the injury to Gallagher?
Oh, I like Gallagher. I do like him. Me personally, a few people don't like him, but I'm quite like a player, and he's one of the strongest players we got, and it's. Yeah,
so you feel that's going to impact your season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, on that one.
Is there any transfer links that you've seen that you're interested in, or is it all sort of here and there and nowhere?
Here and there for the moment. I mean, it's like nothing. Bang.
So I'm finding that a bit frustrating with Leeds at the moment. It's like everyone that we've been linked with has gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
And we're still getting linked with players, but none of the players on the list are really like screaming at me for like, this is the player we want. And obviously we've only got a week left to the end of the transfer window, and you're sort of like...
It's fast approaching.
Yeah.
It is fast approaching. What I would like to do, if it's okay with you guys, is I'm going to ask you a question now that I should have potentially asked you before we started the podcast. Are you Are you okay with being recorded?
Yeah.
A bit late. We're in part 3, and I have been recording them for the entire thing for those that are curious.
It's all there for back there.
And do you mind if your image goes on our socials?
I don't mind.
You don't mind.
I don't
That
mind.
brings us nicely into the social media aspect, where I would like to point out, before Tin Ribs has his say, we'll call it.
Yeah.
I would like to go. We do some stats just occasionally.
Yeah.
Every, I don't know, maybe every 5 or 6
yeah.
episodes, I'll go through a totals thing. Now, on YouTube. Now, for those that don't know, we've had a video suggesting otherwise this week, which no doubt Tin Ribs will go into. But for those that don't know, we started this podcast just so we could get together as friends every week.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I suggested to the guys to put it on social media was to give us an excuse with the wives, so we could turn around and say, "We're on. Look, we're online.
Yeah.
We have to do it every week now." So it's an excuse to then go, "Well, we've got to," unless there's something really important.
Yeah.
Tin Ribs has had a family holiday and some family emergencies, which are unavoidable. Jim Jam's got a family emergency this weekend, unavoidable. So that's fair enough. But we put it online so we can say to them, for the most part, I have to go and do the pod. Got no option. It's online. Everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Not everybody's watching. There's barely anybody watching. To be honest, when we started it, we didn't think anybody would listen, ever. And we didn't think anybody would watch.
Yeah.
It was just for us to get together and have a chat every week, because we've known each other 20 odd years and we barely saw each other.
Yeah.
It was just an excuse for 3 friends to get together.
Talk shit.
So that's why that's why all this sort of, I'll go with all the comments that we've had online do make me giggle, because they go into depth on stuff they really shouldn't be. But YouTube so far, we've now got 203 subscribers.
Yeah.
Which honestly is, for us, is mental, because we didn't think we'd get anywhere near that. We thought 50 was over the hill and miles away. So we've got 203 subscribers. We've had a total of 142,000 views. Insane. 1,300 likes, 166 comments, and 119 shares. Them alone are numbers that we did not anticipate. And that 142,000 views is insane in comparison to where we thought we would be. Now, what I'm going to do is, I am currently on TikTok. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to hand over to Tin Ribs, who I know has got 1 or 2 things he would like to say about TikTok, even though he doesn't have it, doesn't use it, and isn't on it. He's still heard about some of the crap that's gone on this week, and he wants to make his comment. Now, I believe it's about this video.
For me, Saints played really well. They did.
No.
They did.
No, it's not that one.
It's not that one.
No. Can't even get the right one.
I need to find out which one.
Such an
wait,
amateur.
well, actually, it wasn't from this week.
No, it wasn't.
From last week, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking
So-
at last week's videos. It wasn't from last week. It was from the week before.
Sorry,
Oh, no.
So
it should be obvious.
amateurist.
It's this one, right.
he's not a striker. He's not.
This is
And
the short.
I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I don't care where Arsenal finished in the league. Arteta is a Sunday League manager. He plays his mates. Zinchenko, not good enough. Raya, not good enough. Jesus, not good enough. This Mikel Mourinho, I'm convinced he's only signed him because his name's Mikel and he's Spanish.
Right, now I will say I am sort of being proved wrong about Raya right now, which is kind of annoying.
I'm enjoying it.
I may at some point have to eat humble pie where Raya is concerned. However, I stand by the things that I said.
Yeah.
Arteta, to a point, has been like a Sunday League manager and has just played his friends. He's bought Zinchenko, who he's worked with at City. Jesus, who he's worked with at City. Raya, I genuinely believe last season he'd only signed him because he was Spanish, because last season he was fucking shocking. Right? Mikel Merino is being signed by Mikel Arteta, who are both Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And we were throwing the league away. 2 years ago, we were 8 points clear in February and lost the league.
Yeah.
We then go and win 15 out of 13 games and still don't win the league, because Raya literally handed the game against Tottenham when he gave Romero the ball. Right, so I'm complaining about all these things, and that little bit where I said Arteta is a Sunday League manager, obviously it was exaggerated between us mates sitting here. I forget people listen to this podcast, right? I forget people watch us on the socials. Genuinely, I do. When I'm sat here just chatting, I forget all about it. Now, two people clipped that Arteta is a Sunday League manager, and they ran with it on TikTok, and they made their own videos about me. And I believe Tinrooms has got something to say about it.
Well, I do. I mean, these guys. I mean, one of them I'm not even going to bother with, but there's an Arsenal fan.
Right, the one he's not bothering with, just quickly for context.
Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan.
Is a bin dipper. He's a Liverpool fan, and basically we just think all Liverpool fans have got no real sort of say that we care about, so we're not bothered.
Well, to be fair, he just didn't really say much worth understanding. The Arsenal fan, now, he just proved everything about the TikTok generation. Now, people who follow us and people who listen to us, or people who haven't followed us properly yet but do listen to us and go back, will know that when you say he's a Sunday League manager, the first time you ever said it, you said he's like a Sunday League manager and he plays his mates. And then we put the whole context of, we've all played Sunday League, we've all played at junior level, we all know your dad, if you're in the juniors, played his son, and in Sunday League, he will always play his mates. The manager will always play his mates. It's just fact. So when you said he's like on other podcasts, and you've said it many times, it was the point. In that one, you said he's a Sunday League manager because it's not the first time you said it. It probably won't be the last. But, again, this guy's seen a few seconds, gone off on one. His first comment is, "You lot aren't Arsenal fans. Congratulations, you spastic. One of us on the video is wearing a Southampton shirt, and I'm a Leeds fan." So he hasn't even paid attention to the fact on the video, one of us is wearing a Southampton shirt. I mean, how moronic do you have to be? Right? So he's got the attention span of a gnat. He's got the attention span of a gnat. He's watched a fraction of a scene, jumped to the conclusion, jumped on it, and started pointing out his video. Like, oh, he's not an Arsenal fan.
Yep.
Stretch then puts out another video, pointing out all his incorrections.
Right,
he doesn't even watch.
One thing that made me laugh, right, was he was going on about AFTV as well. Because it slagged me off.
Yeah.
Right, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Absolutely.
I've got no issue with that. And I thought that was quite funny. It's basically that I'm spoiled and I've got no clue about football and a lot of what people were saying.
If you just said you're an idiot, I'd have agreed.
Yeah, to be fair, I probably would have done. But then he went on to go on about the AFTV and he said Lee Gunner's been mentioned a lot right now. I watched a couple of his videos years ago. Now, Lee Gunner goes to every fucking game.
Yeah.
Right, every game he goes to. And they go, oh, Lee Gunner, he's not a real fan, he's not this, he's not that. He's at the stadium every week. Right, I don't agree with everything Lee Gunner says, right? But he's there every single week. You cannot tell me that he's not a real Arsenal fan, regardless of what his opinions are. So he slagged Lee Gunner off because his opinions are bullshit, apparently.
Yeah, but he's a happy clapper. He's one of those happy clappers that, oh, you have to support the team.
Yeah,
it doesn't
bullshit,
matter
by the
how
way.
often you go, how much you invest,
That's
unless you
like
literally
saying
sit there and go, oh, great, it's great.
Because your boss pays your wages, you have to agree with everything he does. No, I don't. I'm sorry. He might pay my wages, but certain things he does, I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Like making me work for my money. I think that's disgusting.
We'll
So yeah, he's done
that.
that. Then he picked on another guy, and then he brought up a guy that I don't know. Right now,
okay.
I'm going to go into a little bit of context on this. He went into a guy who I can't remember what name he used, but it was a nickname.
Yeah.
It was a bit like Flyer or something like, but it was a nickname anyway. And he was going on this video, and he says, well, "You look 50 years old. You're going by a nickname. You need to grow up. I bet your real name's something stupid like Derek or whatever." And I'm like, I genuinely, I think Derek's quite a normal name.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he was slagging off the name Derek, because I'm like, I think
should we make a movement for all Dereks?
I don't get where that came from, because I'm like, well, Derek's quite a normal name for a start. Although you are slagging him off just for being an Arsenal fan and having an opinion. But he was slagging him off. He's going, you're nearly 50 and you've got this nickname. You need to use your real name, but it's Derek, blah, blah, blah. So my video in response went, well, okay, so you've had a go at me because you don't like my opinions, which you haven't properly listened to, by the way. But okay, that's fine. But then you're slagging this other guy off. You look old. You've got a massive beard. I actually called him Next Stop North Pole and said he was like an early years Santa because he got a massive beard, but it wasn't grey yet. I'm like, you look like you're closer to 60 than you are to 40, and you go by the name Big Bearded Gooner. You're using a nickname yourself, while slagging somebody off for being your age and using a nickname.
Yeah.
Moronic.
Yeah.
So going back
I'm not
onto-
slagging anybody off for using a nickname. Do you know why? I fucking use a nickname. I literally go on here. I introduce myself on here as Stretch,
and I'm Tin
Tin
Ribs.
and Jim Jam.
Come on, you know what I mean? But-
So I'm not going to slag anybody off for that, because
Yeah.
guess what? We all do it.
But it's like, and then he goes on about like how we're only doing it for attention and likes and blah blah blah. And it's like, kind of.
yeah, kind of.
But I just want to point out how much of a bottom feeder he is. Now, we all know, whenever you watch a successful YouTuber, they always talk, towards the back end, they'll go, did you know that only 20% of our viewers subscribe?
Mm-hmm.
And they openly say, you always hear them say, so please, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Only 30% of our subscribers. You always hear them say that.
Yeah.
So, by that knowledge, we average, 800 views on a video?
We're anywhere between sort of, I would consider normal, between 550 views on a video and about 800.
Yeah.
Any less than that, and I'm like, well, it's a bit low. And any more than that, we've done well on this one.
So we're looking at, let's just say 700 views. Let's just say that.
Go for that.
We've got 200 subscribers. So going on that
No,
logic.
180.
Sorry, 180.
In fact, most of them were this week. At the time, we were 103.
Yeah. Okay. So make the maths easier. Yeah.
We were 100.
We're 100. So
We got 100 followers, and we get 700 roughly views on each video.
So going on that, say 100 and 700. We've got a lot more views than we have subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that probably works out similar, 20%
Same
of our
on YouTube,
subscribers.
same on everything.
Yeah, so we're looking at your sort of average numbers. 20% of our viewers
Yeah.
subscribe. This guy has 3,000 subscribers and averages 200 views. And he's standing there moaning.
60.
I'm being nice.
You are
Let me
being
be
very
nice.
nice.
Right? So he's got 3,000 views, subscribers, but only 200 views, but has the audacity to say that we're throwing money at things. Sorry, mate, where are you getting your subscribers from? Are you the one that literally pays to have your subscribers? This bottom feeder is trying to get us for likes because we're getting more views than he is,
Yeah.
but he's got more subscribers. And all that says to me is he's paying for it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we get
not
asked
only
all the
that,
time.
But he said that we basically only do this for the opinions that I've got. I only say for clickbait and likes. I'm like, well, it's not clickbait because the video that I've put up about Arteta starts on about Jesus and it says he's not a striker on the thumbnail. It doesn't say anything about Arteta, so they need to learn what clickbait means.
But
and secondly, he said because I said that all our clips
things
are
are AI,
generated. Said all our clips are AI generated. I put it onto a
We pay for
website.
AI generation.
And he went, well, you're putting all your money into that. And I'm like, well,
It's free.
if you look at our clips, we have Opus clips written on. If you pay for it, they take their watermark off your video. So clearly and obviously, I'm not paying for it.
So we're not paying for anything.
No,
we
don't
get
pay for
asked
anything.
weekly from these scalpers who, if you pay them X amount a month, they will add subscribers, and they do. They'll pay them ridiculous amounts of money to be subscribed. So all that's telling me is, if he's got 3,000 subscribers but no one's watching his videos, he's paying a lot of money for those subscribers.
Yeah.
So this bottom feeder has the nerve to call us out for being just a bunch of lads having a bit of a laugh because he doesn't agree with our opinion, whilst trying to look big and clever when he's actually looking like an absolute idiot. And I'll put the creme de la creme on in a minute. Whilst he's the one paying for it. He's the one having to fork out the cash. And it's absolutely mind-boggling how he can sit there and do that. And like I say, he's been hypocritical. Oh, you're using a nickname. Sorry, bearded gooner. And the best part, the absolute best part, Stretch made a video. The guy did a retraction to that video, but only watched the first 30 seconds.
Right. So on that video, I'll tell you, I'm not going to go through the whole video because it was 6 minutes long, even though he referred to it as 20 minutes long. So it shows how much attention he's got. So the first 3 minutes of the video was me basically slagging them both off again. Right. Not in a massively serious way, but I was slagging them both off. And basically, I just pointed out the hypocrisies about the using the nickname, etc., etc. But then the last 3 minutes of the video, I literally sat there and said, look, in all seriousness, you are an Arsenal fan I accept the fact that your opinion is different to mine, and I respect the fact that your opinion is different to mine.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I hope Arteta is the next Herbert Chapman. I hope that Raya comes through and is better than David Seaman. I hope that I can come out on my pod and I can go, I was dead wrong. I eat my words. I hope that's the case. I just don't believe it is.
Yeah.
I may have made a gag about the Liverpool fan and saying, "Oh, as for your opinion, I couldn't give a f," and then I scanned in something else and did that. So I was still taking the piss out of Liverpool. But the last 3 minutes was me saying, "I get you're an Arsenal fan. I respect your opinion. I respect the fact that it's different to mine." And then he'd obviously just watched the first few minutes of my reply, and then put out another video. He put out a second video attacking me, right? And I just put underneath his video, I put a comment underneath his video saying, "You clearly didn't watch all of mine."
Old video, yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. So it doesn't matter how many replies he gives to me now. I know he hasn't got the attention span to actually give a shit about what I'm saying. So he's going to get no more replies from me at all. Yeah. So the attention that we were giving you, we're now not. I'm sorry that myself and our 118 followers are now not going to be seeing your videos. I apologise from the bottom of my soul. So yeah, I mean, anyone that's going to attack somebody that has got, like, at the time we got 103 followers. Am I really the person you want to be sort of making videos? This isn't a rap battle. If it is, it's the most shit rap battle you've ever seen in your life, because it's pointless videos where I'm stuttering and stumbling through half of mine because I've never done anything like that before. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm really trying to say, and I think I've repeated myself a couple of times, which was a bit shit, but never mind, I'll put it out there anyway just for a laugh. But they take it so fucking seriously, and then like you get people attacking you then going, "Oh, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you way over the top, you are. You're too big for your boots." I'm like, you're not seeing the satire in any of this that I'm putting up, because I couldn't give a fuck, mate, honestly. This pod, I'll be honest with you, the people that listen, genuinely, I've changed things on this pod, right? Yeah. Timings, I've changed things we've done. I've been late uploading a pod a couple of times because I've been stuck at work or whatever, and things have come up. But I've had messages going, "Oh, I was waiting for the pod and it hasn't come out." I'm like, it's a real reality check for me and him, because I messaged Tin Ribs going, people fucking listen to this. Yeah. Genuinely, we didn't think anybody did. So I'm then like, I have to have this out at a certain time every week because people actually are listening to it on day of release. Like, if you look at our schedule, like, because on where I upload the podcast to, it tells you day by day who's listened and how many have listened and where they're from. Most people listen to this on a Tuesday. I release it on a Tuesday at 1 a.m. Most people listen to this pod on a Tuesday. And I'm like, shit, people actually they care that I upload it at the right time. So do you know what? Since I had that message, I've uploaded it spot on every time. Because we care about the people that are listening, genuinely. And the more people contact us, honestly, the better. We love hearing from people that listen to the podcast. But we didn't do it for listens or likes or attention. We did it just to get together as a group of friends. Yeah. The fact that people listen and like it, we fucking love it. Honestly, I couldn't tell you how happy me and him were the first time we got contact, and I'm like, somebody listens to this. Yeah. And it's not one of our close friends. It's a random guy that's just messaged me, and he's pissed off because I haven't released it on time. I'm like, this is great. Yeah. Like, now I will have it on time every week now, because
when we did the Everton,
I know people care.
The Everton shirt giveaway.
Yes, we ended up driving down and giving a signed Everton shirt to one of the listeners. Yeah. Because he'd entered the competition and won it. He was actually the third person to win it, because the first two never got in touch with us. And I'm like, well, we've done this competition twice now. Nobody's won. They're going to think that we're just doing this competition for nothing. I fucking hope the third person that we get in touch with at least wants it. And anyway, it turns out he lived close enough that we all jumped in the car and drove down and literally handed it to him at his door. Because we said to him, like, do you mind being recorded? Can we put it up? And blah, blah, blah. And he was cool with it all. So, yeah, we drove down and we handed it out to him on his doorstep, and to prove that we are giving this stuff away. We're not lying. We are doing this thing. We are offering what we say we're offering. We say what we mean. We mean what we say. It's as simple as that. Yeah. But, yeah, we love the fact that people listen. Yeah. And I love the fact that people watch on the shorts, on YouTube and on TikTok. I love the fact that people watch it. I love the fact that people are having a go at me, because it proves they give a shit about the content that we're putting out. when okay, they don't agree with my opinion, but at least they've got a strong opinion themselves. Great.
But isn't that the whole point of football and the whole
that's
point
why
of the
we're here.
podcast?
That's
Exactly,
why
yeah.
the three of us sit here every week. I don't always agree with what Tin Rib says. Oh, Raya's a
I
great
don't always
keeper.
agree with
Fuck
what Tin
off.
Rib says.
No, you don't. I don't always agree with what Jim Jam
I
says.
don't agree Leeds should be in our championship. You know what I mean? They should be in Premier League.
I
You know,
definitely fucking don't agree with that.
I agree
That's
with that. Thank
bullshit.
you. We could have him back.
He's fucking banned from coming back on this podcast. Leeds should be in fucking League One and no doubt about it.
Well, I agree with like I said last season. You're like 1 point behind Man City. Whatever you know what I mean, they should run that. You know what I mean? It's it could be
Yeah, it's a
easy.
bit shit. They didn't turn up in the playoff final.
No.
Simple as that. They
Yeah,
should have
mate.
won the
No.
playoff final. They didn't turn up, and they're now suffering for it.
Yeah.
The worst bit is the fans. That's not him. He's not a fucking fan. It's the real fans that's suffering. And honestly, it's them that I feel sorry for because obviously we're all fans. We're not
Yeah.
players. The players can be sold. Look at Rutter, gone. Somerville, gone.
Yeah,
The players don't stay and put up with that pain. They're in the Premier League now.
yeah,
But the fans have to stick with it and suffer for the next 12 months
Yeah.
because they're back in the Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, honestly, even on performance, sorry, Jim Jam, Saints should be in the
Yeah.
Championship and Leeds should be in the Premier League.
yeah.
But Saints defended better than Leeds and Saints took one chance that Leeds did not.
Mm.
And that's all it takes in football, isn't it, at the end
It
of
is.
the day? So
It is.
I think you had a decent squad to stay up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of our biggest problems at the start of the season is the same that we had last season. Our team was ripped to pieces right before the start of the season. All the Premier League players fucked off out on loan, Aronson being one of them, which is why all the fans are against him. And fair play to him. He's come back and he seems to be...
he's putting the work in.
Oh, he is.
He is,
Well,
yeah.
he
Work
is. He's
in.
absolutely putting the work in. And he looks decent.
Any player that's going to show effort is
Absolutely.
going to
Look at Dan James.
Estimation.
Look at Dan James. We kept sending him out
I
on
love
loan.
him. I think he's
And
great,
he's
you know.
just...
Yeah.
For me, he's got to be on the starting
Never
team sheet
moans.
every time. Fantastic little kid.
He puts work in.
Never moans.
Love him.
Works hard. Is
Absolutely
good
love
at
him.
what he does.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, he's one of the best players at Leeds for me. I
No,
love Dan
hands
James.
down.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah. So obviously, it's like there is always that redemption arc. There's always that comeback. But we've had the same again. We had a great team going in. Everyone had us bang favourites, blah, blah, blah. And then we sold 128 million pounds worth of players.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Insane.
There's-
Insanity.
No
Absolute
team is
insanity.
going to make that individually.
Well, when you think two of our players went for 40 million each.
That's a lot, I know. But then, to be fair, they're both good players.
Yeah.
So, but the worst bit of looking at that is you've lost two great players.
Yes, I agree. But like you said, you've always got the team will be there forever, and it's
The thing is, as well, is look at Brighton.
every
Bri-
season they
Brighton
sold
lose
their
their
best
best players so often.
Yeah.
We took Ben White. We took Trossard. They lost McAllister.
players to Liverpool.
They've lost so many players. Yet Matoma comes in to replace Trossard. Fucking superb. Ferguson comes in from nowhere.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's like, oh, where are these players coming from?
Yeah,
Like,
they've got
just
some
so good. So Leeds can do it,
absolutely.
and you can do it cheaper than you've sold them for, which is great.
Well, that's what we've been doing.
And that's the thing, is if you can survive like that, then great. But you need the guys that are going to come in. I think you do need at least two more players before the end of the work.
Well,
minimum of
the-
two more. You
As
can
it
do with
stands,
four, really. I
as
think.
it stands, apparently there was going to be 4 players. We completed the signing of Largy, and it's all over Facebook, Twitter, and everything at the moment. Solomon from Tottenham has had his medical
Manor
today.
Solomon.
Yeah, he had his medical today,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been no mention of it. So there was a massive thing about he's failed, and a couple of people who you sort of think are in the know, Graham Smith, Pope, the big sort of journalists, they've all come out and said, look, he hasn't failed. That's not what's happened. Whether they're waiting till tomorrow to announce it, I don't know. But it seems that that's going to be another signing for us.
Do you know what I bet that is? Is the one person that needs to sign it off is probably gone, fuck this, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they've just gone home for the day. You'll probably find at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll put the rubber stamp on and all the news will come out, and it's literally someone that's sat there going, I'm fucking starving, I'm going home.
But
They've
it
probably
could be
just gone
anything.
home.
It could literally be anything. But so that's looking like it's gone through. And there's a load of other rumours. There's a guy from Cologne. I ain't even going to try and pronounce his name.
Yeah, I butchered enough names today. We don't need to be doing that anymore.
Benson, is it Benson from Burnley? Apparently we're looking at him. And there's a few other names being thrown around. So
You just need a bit of strength, mate. You've lost so many. You need numbers as well as ability. Like,
well,
you can't just bring in.
going into the
players for the sake of
Sheffield
it,
Wednesday game, we had 19 first-team players, of which 3 are goalkeepers.
Wow, so you had 16 first-team players. And if we translate that, right, Chelsea have got nearly 50.
Yeah. No, I think it was like 11 or something stupid like that. I think nearly a full squad. I mean, just
They've got 7 goalkeepers,
Yeah.
but they've got 46 or 47 total first-team players. First-team players. How are you going to keep 47 people up? Do you know that the again, this goes on the part of Mikel Arteta and friends.
Yeah.
Who are we linked with?
Don't know.
You not heard?
No.
Raheem Sterling. Where did he play?
City.
Who was there?
Arteta.
What a fucking shock. Why is it every player we've been linked with in the last 2 years is either Spanish or from City when Arteta was there? Yeah, my opinion is way out west.
Yeah.
Makes
It's
you
like,
fucking wonder, doesn't it?
was it Tarkard, Manchester United manager, signing like
Ten Hag.
Tanarasi, yeah.
He's gone for Delete. I think that's a good signing, though.
Yeah,
I know he's
first it-
Dutch as well, like, but
Yeah, was it
I think it's a great signing.
players from Bayern Munich or something like that?
Yeah, they had to sign the one in
Yeah.
order to get Delete over the line.
Yeah,
I think
so yeah.
it's something like that anyway, I
Yeah,
believe.
and
But yeah, great signing that is.
but that's all the players. He used to play for, I don't know, Ajax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he was.
He's most phenomenal players from them.
I will say, because we've spoken about him before, Mason Greenwood
Yeah.
has changed his international alliance. He's no longer English. He's going to be playing for another, I believe it's Jamaica he's changed to. So he's now available for selection for the Jamaican national team. Because obviously England were never going to pick him again.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gone for that. So on that bombshell, I think we're going to finish this week. I would like to say a massive thank you for Tom for joining us and stepping in at last minute, because I did message you late and you have stepped in for us, so I really appreciate that. Hopefully you can join us again at some point. And I would like to say a minute thank you to Tin Ribs for finally showing up for once in his fucking life and joining us for the podcast. Love you, mate.
Cheers.
And we shall be back in your ear holes next week. Just a quick break in play to bring to you our partnership with Dubby.gg energy drinks. Just a quick note to check postage if you are outside the US, because that's where they're based. Dubby.gg energy drinks. If you go to the checkout, when you've selected what you want, you will get 10% off your entire order, apart from the cans. The cans is the only thing that's not part of the order. Everything else, 10% off. Just put in code SUNDAY at checkout. SUNDAY, Sunday, to enjoy 10% off.